Hello, young ones. How are you doing today? Are you ready to hear another wonderful story? We are reading the story of creation today. You will get to know how everything was created. Once upon a time, God decided to create the earth. At that time, there were no trees, animals, or even humans. There was also no sun and no moon. It was simply dark, and water covered the whole earth. On the first day of creation, God saw that it was dark, and he shouted, "Let there be light." The light began to appear out of nowhere, scaring away the darkness. The light was called day, and the darkness was called night. The evening came, and the first day ended. On the second day, God saw that there was no sky, and he shouted, "Let there be sky." A beautiful blue sky appeared, covering the whole earth. The evening came, and the second day ended. On the third day, God saw that there was no ground, and he shouted, "Let the dry ground appear." The waters were separated to one place, and the ground appeared. He called it land, and the waters he called them sea. The evening came, and that was the end of the third day. God looked again and saw that the land needed plants and trees. He shouted, "Let there be many types of plants and trees that come out of the ground. They will grow and produce fruits." The ground obeyed, and the plants began to grow. The trees grew very large, producing many different types of fruits. The end of the third day had come as evening appeared. On the fourth day, God saw that the sun, the moon, and the stars were missing. He shouted, "Let the sun and the moon appear. The sun shall watch the day, and the moon shall watch the night together with the stars." In the sky, a giant light appeared in the day, and in the evening, a light appeared to shine in the darkness, with little stars sparkling in the sky. That was the end of the fourth day. On the fifth day, God saw that the earth needed birds and fish, and he shouted, "Let the birds begin to fly in the sky, and the fish to swim in the sea." Birds appeared flying in the sky, and fish swimming in the sea. Evening arrived, and there was the fifth day. On the sixth day, God saw that the land had no animals walking on it. He shouted, "The land produced wild animals and creatures to move along the ground." And the land began to form all sorts of creatures from the ground: lions, giraffes, monkeys, and many more. God looked around and desired to create man. He said, "Let me make a man who looks like me." The ground became wet, and God reached into the ground and grabbed some soil. He began to mold a man with his bare hands, carefully shaping the nose and ears, arms and legs. The shape of a man was complete, and he breathed into his nostrils. The man began to breathe. Opening his eyes, he stood up and looked up at God for the first time. That was the sixth day. The seventh and final day arrived, and God rested. Wow, kids! Adam was our first father. Isn't it amazing how God created everything? Birds appearing in the sky, animals forming in the ground. It all sounds so magical, and yet it is true. That is why you and I are on the earth today. You are created in God's image. You have arms and legs like His. Love who He created you to be, because you are beautifully and wonderfully made. That's all for now. Let's meet next time for the next story. Goodbye.